Hey guys, welcome back to Eversoul. In today's video, we've got the patch notes for the upcoming update where we are getting the new hero Velanna. Now, this is translated, so this is the Korean patch notes we're reading at the moment. Haven't seen the official English patch notes go out, but I thought I'd cover it anyway because I was heading to bed. So, you know, some of the translations are going to be a bit funny, like names and stuff like that, but this is going to be Velanna, the release patch. Now, when we did a video a couple days ago where we spoke about some of all the different stuff that was changing and stuff like that, all the bug fixes and all that, I believe that update was for the 9th that one was looking for, so that stuff will be coming later. This one is just specifically what's in these patch notes, I believe. If any of that does change, I will let you guys know. But let's take a look at what we are going to be getting in this one. This one is on February 2nd, so that's when this one is coming. Exact time we don't know yet. We'll have to wait for the global announcement on that one. But new spirit added, a spirit who likes to be alone while tending a rose garden alone in some kingdom. I suck at names. A new spirit, and this is Velanna, is added, scheduled for February 2nd. So I've been saving, I think I'm up to about 48,000 gems. So I'm probably going to go ham on her banner, and we'll see how we go. So that is her. That's the image. We've all seen her coming. She's an undead unit. I can't remember whether she was warrior or I think she was strength based. Don't quote me. I can't remember exactly. Doesn't really matter. So here we have her skills. Obviously, this is an image in Korean. Now, I did go ahead and translate this. The translation is absolutely horrid. So the ultimate, I'll do my best to convert it to what it's meant to be. Basically, attacks all enemies and basically puts a bleed on them. And if they're already bleeding, it increases the damage, is essentially what that's saying. Now, this is like we got on the last one. With Jiho, they don't give us the exact skill descriptions before the character's released. I really wish they would, but I guess they're still saving it so that if they want to make any last minute adjustments to numbers and stuff like that, they can. But basically, an AoE that attacks all enemies and applies a bleed. If they're already bleeding, it deals additional damage. Then we have the main skill, 5 meter length. So what I'm reading this as is it's got 180 degrees. So it's basically from the point where she is, basically forward from that, it's just like the whole wave. So it's a 180 degree range. So it's from her point forward on the battlefield, whichever way she's facing. Obviously she could be turned, but that whole wave is going to get damage up to 5 meters back. That's the way I read this. I could be wrong. We'll have to see when she comes out, but a pretty solid AoE that, you know, unless there's any lunges or she's turned around or something like that, should be pretty reliable to deal some nice damage. And then if the enemy is bleeding, it deals additional damage. So just another solid AoE that deals damage, additional damage on bleeding targets. Then we got the sub skill. Summon a sword that penetrates the ground, causing damage within a range of 2.5 meters around the target, I'm assuming that is. And puts an all-out state. I believe that means puts a bleed on them. I believe. I could be wrong on this translation as well. But once again, this is an AoE. I believe it's based around the enemy that it hits, that does 2.5 meters around them and puts bleeds on. Then the next ability is going to be summon a body twisting sword to deal damage around. Same thing. So this is the same sort of thing. The target enemy, I'm assuming, once again, I could be wrong, and 2.5 meters around them. If the target is bleeding, it deals additional damage. So, and then we look at her passive, where this one, her attacks on bleed, this all-out state to me is bleeding enemies, always hits as a critical hit. And endemic, I believe this means like lifesteal ability is, so I believe what this passive is trying to say, once again, we could be wrong, just bear with me on this one. Basically, if their enemy is bleeding, it's guaranteed to critically hit, and it increases her lifesteal, is the way I'm reading that. So we'll have to see exactly what is printed in the game when it drops. But essentially what we're looking at when we won't look at her ultimate until the last, but basically we've got two sub skills that one is going to target the enemy and around them and put a bleed on. Then the other one is going to target the enemy and around them and deal damage and additional damage if the enemies are bleeding. Then if they are bleeding, you're guaranteed a critical hit and you're going to get some lifesteal, which gives her some sustainability. And then for her main skill, she's going to pretty much deal damage to the whole board in front of her position. And it deals even more damage if they're bleeding. So Then you've obviously got the ultimate, which inflicts a bleed and then does more damage if they're bleeding, and that just hits all enemies altogether. I think it sounds like a pretty solid main DPS carry type kit. There's no control in there. It's pretty much just all out damage and self-sustain is what I'm seeing from that kit, which is pretty good for a carry. We'll have to see how well she performs, how high the damage multipliers are, how well the sustain is with the lifesteal and stuff like that. But in general, when you've got every ability being an AoE and you can increase your own lifesteal, you're probably going to be pretty healthy. So we'll have to see how this works. Obviously, she'll be victim to any unit that has heavy single target damage in campaign. So you have to watch out for that. But I feel like it sounds pretty solid. We'll have to wait and see when she actually drops. So stay tuned for that one. So let's bounce back over here. Let's take a look at the rest of the patch notes and see what we've got coming. So during the event period, you can obtain the new Spirit Velanna with a high probability in the pickup summon. That's scheduled for February 2nd. Obviously, we know that until February the 16th. So like I said, if you've been holding out, we'll have a good look at her when she does drop into the game, have a look at multipliers, do some testing and stuff like that, and see whether she's worth actually pulling. So if not, if you were looking at the Talia, like I said with the Talia banner, maybe hold out, then we can choose what we want to go for. But for me, I think I'm definitely going to go for her. I need some undead support on my team for the towers and stuff like that. My undead roster is looking horrible, so it's something that I'll probably definitely go for all the way to pity. I'm on, like I said, I think I'm on 48k gems, so should be pretty right to get there. Next up, we have Frontline Stage 16 area added. So pretty much, I believe this is just Chapter 16 is added into the game. So all the whales that are stuck at Chapter 15, the end of it, they get the next chapter. I'd say they'll start rolling out chapters fairly quick. I've never seen in an idle game where the developers like to have players at the end point of the game with nothing to progress into. I don't know. We'll have to see. This one could be different, but I'd imagine like every update will probably get a new chapter as well from here on in, depending on how frequent the updates are. And then we've got some extra product information, additional. Okay, so this is going to be okay. If you're a spender, you can take a look at it when it drops in the game, but they're going to have new packs is essentially what that is. Frontline Stage 16, opening, breakthrough. Okay, so then there's another package there for that. Miscellaneous and bug fixes, fixed bug. An issue where an error occurred when reopening the recommended task window after completing all recommended tasks will be fixed. Didn't know about it. I actually encountered a bug for myself. For some reason, my character in the town got stuck in the expanded area of your town, but I hadn't opened it yet, so I couldn't get back, and then I realized there was a teleport button, so that saved me. I'd never used the teleport button until then, so if you do get stuck, there's a teleport button. You can get out of that pickle, but that's just one I had anyway, and I believe that is going to be it for the notes. Like I said, the main one is that Velanna's coming into the game, and we're getting Chapter 16. Those are the two big changes. Like I said, we've got some rough translated skill descriptions. Multipliers are going to be a big thing on how well she goes. Also, depending on what her artifact is as well, depending on her viability. But pretty sick design. I need undead, so I'm pretty much going to go for her. That's pretty much where I'm at. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.